want to keep the focus on hiring here in the United States as we approach the Friday monthly jobs report. That's going to be the big market mover Friday. So in advance of the government's numbers, today's ADP report showed that private companies added 188,000 new workers in the month of June. That was much better than expected. All this while initial jobless claims came in below expectations. So it could mean good news for Friday and the economy. Joining us now to talk more about it is former Dallas Federal Reserve President and CNBC contributor Bob McTeer, along with Steve Leisman. Bob, what do you think today's ADP's numbers said about the hiring status for the month of June? What are you expecting from that report out Friday?
Well, both those reports today were marginally encouraging. However, the other day we got a significant downgrade in first quarter GDP, and then we got a foreign trade report that is not good. It showed exports slowing and imports rising, and if that continues, a lot of the strength in the U.S. economy will be creating jobs elsewhere rather than here. So my guess is about 175,000.
Do you think, the events around the world are also creating the uncertainty that you're mentioning in the United States? I mean, we're looking at pictures right now, a live picture of Cairo, Tahrir Square, where millions of people have taken to the streets. They are trying to push President Morsi out. He is saying, I am not leaving. We are being told now that we have lost communication with Morsi. We don't know if he's still at his headquarters. Does this play into the inability or unwillingness for real sustained job creation on the part of large companies? What do you think, Bob? How does this all impact things?
Well, the foreign trade issue that I referred to is primarily a weak Europe and a not very strong China rather than these other things. I consider what's going on in Egypt today to be good news after a few days. I'm betting on the guys with the tanks, and they seem to be representing the majority of the people. They screwed up their opportunity last time by electing a Muslim Brotherhood person. Maybe they'll get it right this time.
Steve, what about that? How do you see today's numbers? What would you say the impact will be in terms of Friday's numbers? And any thoughts on what's happening in Egypt in terms of how this plays out?
Well, I think, Maria, on the latter question, there's an interesting development that has to do with what I call authoritarian democracies. These countries that they elected their leaders, but the leaders go on and act essentially like dictators in office. And I agree with my friend Bob McTeer there that it's a good thing that they're rethinking the choices that were made given how they operate in office. And I think there are questions, Maria, that we've seen around the world when it comes to places like Turkey and places like Russia that are similar. And I think from an investment standpoint, those are places you might want to steer clear of until they get their politics sorted out. And everybody hopes that they do get them sorted out in a way that doesn't lead to bloodshed, but ultimately leads to freedom. As to the jobs report on Friday, I think today's number was a little bit more robust than had been expected by the market. 188,000 in the private sector. You're going to want to take away 10,000 for government hiring, probably on the downside. But what I'm going to be watching, Maria, is hours worked and earnings. Those are two things that will tell me about, how healthy the job market is. I'd like to see those things on the rebound. It looks like the second quarter is going to be very soft. I've seen GDP numbers now that are tracking in the, low ones. There's even one, Stephen Stanley, who I think is tracking a half a point just for the second quarter. But overall, I think the market has been trading on this concept that the third quarter will be more healthy.
Yeah, it's a great analysis. Bob McTeer, Steve Leisman, thanks very much.